everybody, and welcome to Watch Dan Reviews. Today I'll be taking a look at the Islander Automatic Dive Watch with solid link bracelet, AR sapphire crystal, dual time luminous Batman bezel, insert number ISL-74. This is a 43mm watch that is based on the Seiko SKX. But before I get started, let's have a look at the wrist. Today I'm rocking the Jeanneau silent service with date and what do they call it? A little Cyclops window there. And I put this on my my cheapy Timex leather strap here because I thought it looked awesome. And I actually ordered a new leather strap for this watch with a little bit of a red stitching. That should come soon, and I'll make sure to get some pictures. But for today, we're taking a look at this bad boy, and this was sent to me by Ryan over at Islander Watch, and he was nice enough to lend a watch to what is essentially a brand new channel, and I really appreciate that, and I'm hoping they'll send me some more watches down the line. So this is a 43mm case width, 46mm lug to lug, 14mm thick, 200 meters water resistant, and has a screw down crown. So let's have a little look at this thing, huh? When I first opened this up, I was very shocked at how nice it looked. We all know this is essentially an SKX that's been modded real nicely, but there's some very important distinguishment. There's some very important differences between this and an SKX. I'm presuming that the dial is completely proprietary. It is a very nice matte black finish. The indices look amazing. The hands, I believe, are just Seiko SKX hands. But otherwise, the dial is awesome on this. It looks really good. And I'll make sure to get some loom shots a little bit later. The loom on this thing is insane. And part of the reason I wore the Jeanneau today is because I'd like to compare the loom on this watch to the loom on the Jeanneau. Because that is the crown champion in terms of loom in my collection. The bezel insert is fully luminous and is ceramic. And the little numbers, you can kind of feel, you know, the gaps in there for the numbers because it is ceramic. They're inlaid in there, not just painted on, which is awesome. The blue second hand looks amazing. Disappears a little bit sometimes, but whatever. That's how it is on every one of these Batman style watches. The case is definitely an SKX. You can see it's got that kind of tapering bubble side to it, and it's actually nice to get a brand new one of these in hand because my Seiko SKX is so scratched up, I forgot just how good the polishing was. The bezel is also proprietary, and it has a very nice knurling around it. It turns perfectly. Take a listen. Feels like a Seiko, honestly, but maybe a little bit looser, but just perfect. And guess what? It lines up perfectly. How about that, huh? The crown is signed with Islander's little logo here. It's nicely etched. And I'll tell you what, when I unthread this crown, it feels a heck of a lot better than my SKX. You know, it unthreads a little easier, it pops out, and it doesn't have any wobble to it, or very little, unlike the SKX. And of course it has hand winding, which is a very nice, lovely feature to have. And when it threads back up, it's perfect. It's great. No issues. You know, I only have my SKX J1 to go off of my 007, but that can be kind of a pain to thread back up. So that's really cool. The bracelet on this is awesome. It is a 22mm lug width, and this Jubilee bracelet tapers down, I believe, to 16mm. It's all put together with screws, has solid end links, and I'll be sure to take the bracelet off in a little while to get you guys a little better view of that case back there. Well, what can I say about this watch? I mean, it's pretty great. I love the blue color. It is Smurf-like, I would say, and just looks so nice, especially in direct sunlight. And again, there is loom all over the place in this watch, and it glows real bright. I think it's C1 or C2, so it's also excellent. The bracelet tapers down to a clasp that does not have any quick adjust, but it does have plenty of little holes drilled in here. It is heavy duty and very thick. It's a very thick clasp. Feels, you know, strong and robust, with a nice swing arm and a nice fold over as well. And it locks into place. Very hard, very hardy. It's very, like, you know, I ain't going nowhere. It's very strong. The little fold over has a very nice click, and it's comfortable. It's very comfortable. Let me just see if I can get a couple more close-ups of that dial, because it's a really, really nice looking kind of matte finish dial there. I really dig the little 4 o'clock logo that Islander uses on their watches. Oh, good old Batman, huh? When I opened this, my daughter said, "Oh my gosh, you got a Batman watch? I want it." And I said, "Oh man, I don't know. I might have to buy this thing if they'll sell it to me. Just because it looks so cool." I don't know. I've never been a huge Batman guy, but this dual time Batman watch is kind of screaming at me. And I'm in the market for a new watch, so we'll see what happens. All right, guys, I'm just going to pause this real quick and get this thing off the bracelet so we can have a close look at the case back and the bracelet. And I will return shortly. And we're back. I had forgotten how easy it is to take a bracelet off when you have little holes drilled in the side of the case. The only watch I had before that did that was the Zen 556, and none of my watches have that feature, so it's really nice of Islander to put that on their watch. It just makes it so much easier. My glove's being weird here. Let's see. There we go. Makes it so much easier. So, you know, I brought down my my SKX just so I could kind of compare and contrast here. The clasp is very similar, almost identical. So this may be a strap code bracelet, I'm not entirely sure, but the Jubilee is different. So, and I know because I have the Super Jubilee bracelet, I know that the clasp on the Super Jubilee bracelet is not nearly this good. This seems to me almost like a Super Jubilee bracelet with an Angus Jubilee clasp on it, which is just awesome because that's kind of the best of both worlds. But it's an excellent bracelet. It's super heavy duty, very nicely polished. Let me see if I can't clean it up a little here. Very nicely polished on the sides and in the centers. Good solid end links on there. And this clasp is to die for. It's, man, it's got some weight to it, doesn't it? But like I said, it just kind of hard to close, but it is not going anywhere once it's on the wrist. Very nicely done, guys. All right, let's have a look at the little watch head here. So you can see automatic 200 meters. I've heard complaints that there's not enough writing on this dial. I don't really care. I think it's just fine. The automatic in blue matches the bezel and the seconds hand very nicely. And take a look at that crystal. Kind of a domed crystal. Like very slightly domed, but protruding from the case. And I know that's a sign of quality right there. And it's also got a nice AR coating on the underside. So you can see the way my light sort of just bounces off it. It's not messing up the visibility of the dial very much there. But let's flip it over, huh? Now this is really nice. So we have 200 meter Sapphire Islander 200 meter. Nice Long Island watch logo in there, and it is very deeply etched in the back. Like they took some time on this one. Polished all the way around and very nicely etched. You can just see how deep that etching is on there. It just looks great. A little closer look at that crown. My crown happens to line up almost at the 12 o'clock position, which is kind of funny. Yeah, it's got a nice weight to it. A heavily modded SKX. And you know what? That's not all that Islander does. They also manufacture other watches that are not just made you know, from, oops, sorry camera, that are not just made from a Seiko. They manufacture other watches too that are proprietary to their own brand. And the price point on these is incredible. I mean, this thing brings so much to the table for $329. It's $429 on the website, and they automatically give you $100 off. So it brings so much to the table. I'm excited to review some more of these because, you know, I thought Orient was sort of like the king for the money, but I think maybe Islander has them beat, to be honest. You know, value for money. I mean, you cannot beat the value of this watch, and what you're getting for $329 is incredible. So, all right, guys, I'm going to pause this and get this thing on wrist for some loom shots, and I'll return shortly. Okay, and we're back. So 14 millimeters thick with that giant domed crystal, probably 13 millimeters thick without it. But you can see on my 7.5-inch wrist, it fits perfectly. Couldn't fit better, honestly. It's very comfortable. It feels like an SKX. You know, if you've ever worn one of those, it's gonna feel just like it. Fits very nicely. I got a perfect fit on here. I took 2 links out and moved the micro adjust all the way to the very end. It fits like a champ. I'm not sure it'll fit under a cuff, but this is an everyday kind of, you know, shorts and a t-shirt sort of watch. So I dig it. It's really nice, guys. I may have to pull the trigger. We shall see. But now I will take it in and get you guys some loom shots. So stand by. Okay, here we are. Have a look at that. That is incredibly bright. It's so bright that the indices reflect off the bezel, and at nighttime there is no issues with visibility anywhere. You can tell what time it is anywhere in the world that you go. I'm going to bring the Jeanneau in too, guys, just so we can kind of compare and contrast here. I'm not sure which one is brighter. It's very hard to tell. They're both incredibly bright. I'm going to have to do a little bit of comparison here on my own to see which one holds its loom better over time. But I'm just going to go ahead and declare this a draw between these two watches because they're both just so incredibly legible at nighttime. It's hard to tell which one's the better watch, but we're not here for the Jeanneau today, so let's take a little closer look at this thing. Nice luminous pip on that second hand. Bring this cool bezel all the way back around to the top, which it should be easy to do even at night. So bright. That's kind of a cool shot, huh? Disappearing bezel. Gone. And it's back. All right, guys, appreciate you watching. If you like, please like. If you want to subscribe, I'll try to make more videos as soon as I can. And until the next one, we'll see you guys a little bit later. Bye now.